He said he gonna wait till after the series to give him his praise.
Jose remind me of like the squirrel on Ice Age. You know how he was always just run around getting that darn nut? That's him trying to run around and get a dag steal. If you don't get back down the court on defense, let Chris bring the ball up.
What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews and
Simone.
Jalen Mills is somebody that I get behind.
I'm not even gonna cap on DeAndre Hopkins. He has the best hands in the league.
Played through it, hobbling on back to the field.
Right. I'm saying when you one of the best teams out there, you know, the other team's division ain't got no choice but to try and get like you. You dig?
So let's get right into the video.
Let's go.
Make sure you guys like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, let us know what you guys think down below. And of course, turn your notification bells on because you already know the videos are coming like boom, 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 boom. And you don't want to miss a single video or a live stream. Also, buy us a coffee and shout out to everyone who has recently bought us coffee. Now, Dylan, it's been a lot going on since we have last spoke. We need to talk about everything that's been going on in the NBA playoffs. We got a lot to dive into. So let's go ahead and start. Sadly, we're going to go by seeding. So we're going to start with the 1-8 matchups, then the 2-7s, then the 3-6 and the 4-5. So sadly, starting with the 1-8s. Actually, let's start with the Suns. Let's start with the Suns Pels. 1-8 in the West. So obviously D-Book went down. We talked about that. The Suns had a little bit of trouble with the Pels. But last night, it was Mikal Bridges that went crazy for the Suns to propel the Suns up 3-2 now in that series. The next game will be played in the Bayou in New Orleans. But Dylan, mad respect, like what Chris Paul is doing at this age. I feel like we keep talking about LeBron James, what he's doing at that age, but Chris Paul is playing amazing basketball for that age and that height too. You see, like when him and Jose are like on their little one-on-one, it looks like Jose a little bit taller than Chris.
Right, Jose not even that tall, so it's crazy. But yeah, what Chris Paul is doing at this age is just phenomenal. His play, the fact, and like I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to Chris Paul. Like his decision making, like he really is the point guard. Like all the games he's had with like 10 plus assists and 0 turnovers, like that is hard. Especially, you know, when you don't have quite, you know, the athleticism you have, but the skill is still there for Chris Paul, and he still helped willing his son's team, you know, out of the first round when they don't have Devin Booker. Mikal Bridges, like you said, stepped up obviously, but I mean, Chris Paul is aging like the finest wines.
And shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans. They're playing extremely really good basketball right now. Brandon Ingram is just having this time to really shine and show like what he can do. You know, the Pelicans being a lower seed, they don't always get that coverage and attention. Right. But Brandon Ingram, been following him since college. He's been a baller. He's been about this. Brandon Ingram's balling. We know what CJ McCollum can do. We both wanted CJ.
He's showing still got some left in the tank.
Right. We both wanted CJ McCollum as an option maybe on our teams. Right. CJ McCollum, obviously all the rookies, Jose Alvarado, what he's doing as well. But I really have the Suns in this series. D-Book stared down the Pelicans bench last night when they were walking off and was like, I'm back. So I don't know if D-Book is going to be back next game. But I did want to say this, and we was talking about this off the thing. Chris Paul been doing this for a long time. Chris Paul is somebody I would want to see have a ring before he retires. Right. I don't know how much a ring would like validate his personal, like, you know, to him personally what it means. I mean, he's already cemented himself as the point guard.
For sure.
But he's been doing this for a long time. The Pelicans are young. Y'all will be there. Let him do it. Put all that stress on that man. You saw him heaving over there like goodness.
He was tired. You could tell he was tired.
Let the point guard escape the first round. Y'all young and 22 years old. Y'all gonna be back?
Jose said, nah, I'm trying to get mine now.
I'm trying to get mine now. And first of all, put some respect on, like I said, Jose Alvarado, we love Jose. But Jose, that's the point guard. Have some respect, my dude. He's up, let up.
He said he's going to wait till after the series to give him his praise.
Jose remind me of like the squirrel on Ice Age. You know how he was always just run around getting that darn nut? That's him trying to run around and get a dag steal. If you don't get back down the court on defense, let Chris bring the ball up. Goodness, Chris Paul backing him up like this. Chris Paul like this.
How we doing it?
It felt like this. Goodness, Jose all towed over. It felt like this. I'm like, let him bring the ball up, like being so darn pesky. But I don't know why Jose checked in so late last night. I don't think he checked until the second half.
I don't know why either. Excuse me. You know when you try to go to talk and like something go down the wrong pipe? Well, that's what happened. Anywho, yeah, they were talking about it on the broadcast too. Like they weren't sure why Jose went in so late. That was weird. And maybe if he would have gotten in earlier, you know, that could have helped stop the bleeding a little bit early on when the Suns were making their run. So I don't know why he got in so late. So I have no idea.
So yeah, love the Pels. The future is extremely bright for them.
Yep.
But I'm really, really, really rocking with the Suns, especially if D-Book comes back next game.
Facts.
But Dylan, sorry, we gotta talk about the 1-8 on the other side. The Heat put that heat on y'all. Sorry.
They melted Ice Tray.
Hawks fans, you can go check out Dylan's full reaction and of course some more off-season coverage. But yeah, Ice Tray melted. That's crazy. The Heat melted. Like you put that Miami Heat melted.
Man, ESPN came out with a disrespectful little video graphic thing on Instagram. It was like Ice Tray, like they had him like glowed out in like icy like blue, and then they had like Tyler Hero and he was shooting like heat lasers out his eyes and it melted Trey and like made him disappear. It was real disrespectful.
Oh, but yeah, I mean we knew. For me, honestly, going into the series, I always had the Miami Heat. I let you pick the Hawks because that's your team, of course, what you do. But I always had the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, I mean, I know they had that really rough little stretch of like 6 games where they were fumbling and bumbling, but they came out #1 in an extremely tough East for a reason. I think the Miami Heat are definitely legit.
Yeah, they are.
You got Oladipo coming out, Jimmy Butler out, Kyle Lowry out. They brought Oladipo out, the deepest hospital bed of injuries. And he came out and balled. That's what I'm saying. If they got Oladipo really like getting back to what Oladipo was before injury, and they got Oladipo coming off the bench.
That's scary, bro.
That's scary.
That's scary. And then two, like you think about it, the Heat are just such a versatile team. They're obviously good defensively. They did a great job locking down Trae Young. And, you know, Trae couldn't figure it out. Now he's going to have to figure it out in the future because, you know, the Heat might have gave these other NBA teams a blueprint on how to guard Trae Young, so Trae got to figure that out. But focusing on the Heat, they did a great job defending him, just being rough and tough with him. PJ Tucker, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, like they all would switch off of him like in one defensive possession. So he was going through it, Trae Young was. But the other thing about the Heat is like, if you think about it now, especially since they have Victor back, like, they are really like slick, kind of unfair. Like the Heat got
slick, kind of.
They got a deep team, man.
Deep.
They got Jimmy, they got Kyle, they got Bam. Duncan Robinson didn't even really do anything in this series because it wasn't a really good matchup for him because he couldn't really defend. But they got Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, who had, he had like one okay game, and last night he was okay. They still got Tyler Hero, and now you have Victor Oladipo. That's 6.
Did you say PJ Tucker?
No, I didn't even say PJ Tucker in the corner playing defense.
Still knocking down.
Max Strus was huge. He can hit some big threes. They have literally, they got dudes who can get their own shot. They got major 3 and D dudes. They got straight up shooters. The Heat got everything you would want in a championship team. They got dogs.
They got dogs.
Defenders.
Great coach.
I mean,
the Heat are just really deep. And like I said, it's unfortunate y'all had to play the Heat in the first round, but it's no like, I mean, of course it's sad to see a season end, but it's no like hanging your head. The East is extremely tough.
East is way tougher this year than it was last year.
There's no first round matchup you would want to have this season.
No, not at all.
So moving on, we gotta go, we did the West. Yeah. So 2-7.
Them boys got swept.
2-7. Oh yeah, the Celtics were #2. Yeah. So yeah, we all know the Nets got swept.
Them boys got swept.
Let me say this. We know that Celtics defense, that Celtics team, just overall, we talked about unfair. That Celtics team is a unit. They're a unit. Fact. And they have a really strong leader in Jason Tatum, really strong leader, secondary guy, could be a leader in Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Their core, they got Al Horford looking 25 years old.
Right.
They're really impressive, and it's going to be really hard to pick Celtics versus Bucks when we get to that point.
Right.
But my thing is, put some darn respect on y'all. The internet hates Kevin Durant. Even before Kevin Durant got swept, the internet hates Kevin Durant because of that trade.
Yeah, and the burner account, but that's the point. I'm just making a joke.
No, I know, but anything he does, he could say good morning, and they're gonna bomb him out in the comments.
Oh, for sure.
Kevin Durant is not thinking about getting swept by the Celtics. There's nothing Kevin Durant could do at this point in time to change his legacy. It's already freaking set.
Yeah. Same
with LeBron James. Same with anybody in that age bracket. It's just amazing they're even still playing basketball at this high level. You got dudes, their contemporaries, that are now calling the games in the broadcast, retired. The fact that these dudes are even still playing at this age, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, not sure exactly how Kyrie, but these dudes are out their prime and they're still balling. So I'm saying, the Celtics, amazing shout out to them. They're a young team. They're half their age in basketball years. I'm saying it's a new team's turn, but it's no shame. It's no point in hanging your head if you're freaking Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had to carry a whole team all season long at the age of 30 plus. Not even sure exactly how old he is, 34, I don't know, 35. I'm saying, to be doing this so long, there's no shame in getting swept by it, really. And then think about the dudes around them. You got Blake Griffin out playing all them minutes at 40 years old. I'm saying y'all acting like Kevin Durant got swept on a super team. Like, stop the slander. Like, there's nothing you can... Kevin Durant at this point in his career is just balling because he enjoys the game. He's already got the championship. He already got the finals MVP. He's already changed the game smooth like butter. I'm just saying, like, pick something else. Like, I hate the bashing. Like, they're done. There's nothing that Kevin Durant can do to change his narrative at this point.
Yeah.
There's nothing that LeBron, these dudes are just playing because they're lucky to even still be playing at this age. So how are you going to try to come for somebody, he should have stayed with the Warriors? If he wanted to stay with the Warriors, he could have freaking stayed with the Warriors. A lot of these dudes don't like being on super teams because it's so automatic. It's easy. You don't got to work for nothing.
Yeah, and that's what it was on the Warriors too. It was honestly unfair. Him being on the Warriors was unfair. And they probably he probably got bored. I'm sure the Warriors liked it, but I'm sure he probably got bored. And he wanted to be on his own team. That's why he started with the Nets. And he recruited Kyrie to come to the Nets and all that stuff. He wanted to do it with, what he felt like was his own team, because when he was with the Warriors was not his team. He was just added to that team. That was Steph, Clay, and Draymond's team. That was their team. He just came on and put them over the top, like the top. And like I said, he probably got bored, And the Warriors was a different vibe. Like, the Warriors give real happy-go-lucky, like, family type thing. And not to say Kevin Durant's not that type of dude, but,
he's a loner type.
He's a loner type. And so, that probably wasn't his vibe exactly. So, anywho, to get back on track, it's no shade to KD. KD is still great. This doesn't take away.
Bunch of haters. I hate some darn haters.
This doesn't take away from his greatness, and the Celtics did a good job on him defensively. And, this wasn't his best series, but still, KD, he's a Hall of Famer. His legacy is cemented. So
y'all gotta wait till somebody's 40 years old to finally laugh. Oh, he got swept. Dude's 40 years old. It's dudes at 23, 25 in their prime and would never even scratch where Kevin Durant is right now.
Exactly. And like you said, he had to deal with Kyrie Irving being a part-time player. The whole James Harden fiasco in the first half of the season. And obviously not having Ben Simmons and that whole thing as well. So KD did what he had to do. In my opinion, he played his part. He did what he had to do. And like I said, just ran up on a super white-hot Celtics team that's playing very well, caught their stride, and they're just hot at the right time. And sometimes that's what it's about going into the playoffs, just being hot at the right time.
It's going to be so hard picking Celtics Bucks. We're going to wait on that. But 2-7 in the West. Last night, Timberwolves, John Morant got pretty much a buzzer beaten. It was like 1 second left on the clock, layup to seal that deal. Right after Anthony Edwards knocked down a huge shot for
game time 3,
for the Timberwolves. I can't even pick anybody. I can't pick anybody still.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm still gonna say the Grizzlies, but honestly, I would not be surprised either way. And I told you this was gonna be that type of series where it could honestly go either way, just because both teams are young and experienced, and they're both kind of the core of their teams are all going through the playoffs the first time. So it's just, this series has been so unpredictable, but so good because guys are figuring it out on the fly, how it is to be playoffs, that playoff type of intensity. So it's going to be a really good end to the series. I don't even know. I want to believe that the Grizzlies are going to close it out the next game.
They just keep struggling.
But to be honest, I have no idea.
I
would not be surprised to see this series go 7.
To game 7.
Yeah.
The winner of this series will go on to play the Warriors. We already know that. But I'm gonna have the Warriors either way. Just the way
they got one more game to win, but I got the Warriors.
Just the way that the Grizzlies struggle with the Timberwolves makes me think that they're definitely going to struggle and not win a struggle against the Warriors.
Yeah, and then 2, like the Grizzlies, the mistakes they've made in this series, it was okay because Minnesota is young too, and they're figuring things out too, and they're gonna make those same mistakes. You can't get a big lead and let the Warriors back into it, or you can't let the Warriors go on a big old run and expect to be able to fight your way back. That's not gonna happen. Like the Golden State Warriors are not gonna go on a 21-0 run and let you back in the game. They're not the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to blow you out, and that's gonna continue to be a blowout if you let that happen in the series against the Warriors. So I just think with the inexperience, the Grizzlies will be back. But with the inexperience, I can't see them getting past the Warriors. Plus, the Warriors are hot right now, too. I mean, Steph is doing Steph things. Clay's, seemed like he got his legs back under him, and he's pretty much recovered from that Achilles injury in the ACL. Jordan Poole is going crazy. So they're just playing really well right now. So, yeah, I would take the Warriors in that second round matchup.
So, moving on to 3-6. 3-6 is pretty much easy to wrap up in the East. Bucks, sorry, Boos. Move around with all that bougie. I can never bring up the booze without saying bougie. We got the Bucks in that one. I think Zach LaVine might be out tonight too. Don't know. He got injured. I'm not sure the extent of his injury, but he got injured in that last game. Not sure the extent. I just know he got injured in the last game. Not sure what the injury was, if it was whatever. Either way, the Bucks are going to close out the Bulls. So next time we're talking, we're going to have to be picking Celtics, Bucks. That's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough.
But moving on to the West, 3-6 in the West, Warriors versus Nuggets. Warriors. Going to wrap that G up.
Right.
Gentleman sweep. Even if it does go 6, Warriors.
Yeah, I don't think it's going 6.
I don't think it's going 6.
Nikola Jokic and them, he did a great job willing his team to at least one. He dropped like 38, so he started off hot. But the Warriors at home, they're gonna close it out.
Yeah. So moving on to 4 freaking 5. Starting in the East, Dylan. 76ers versus Raptors. I'm giving my spiel on this. I want to get your opinion on this. But for the sake of this video, you guys probably already heard me talk about it 1,000 times. But we were up 3-0. It's extremely hard for a team to come back from 3-0. That's why nobody's ever done it. I do think that the Sixers will win the next game. But my biggest and only concern is if Joel Embiid's thumb is really a problem, and Scottie Barnes is getting healthier each game, then that's what I'm worried about the Raptors coming back, because the Sixers did not have, the last 2 games, the Sixers were just 2 games. The Sixers were just disoriented, out of sync, lack of energy, discombobulated. What's your take?
How healthy is Joel Embiid? The report is that the ligament is torn in his thumb. John Collins was going through the same thing in Atlanta. He was still, now it wasn't his thumb, it was his middle finger or something like that. It was either his middle finger or his ring finger. Pretty sure it was ring finger. But the point being, you can play through it. I mean, Joel Embiid seems like he has a pretty high pain tolerance. I mean, I feel like everybody in the NBA has a pretty high pain tolerance. But with it being his thumb, how much is that going to affect him? That's his dribbling, shooting a little bit, just having your hand on the basketball and gripping things overall. How much is that going to affect him? Can he learn to play through that and play with that pain? And, so how much is the thumb going to affect him? Honestly, that is what it's going to come down to for me. How good is he going to be? And James Harden is going to have to get aggressive and step up. And I know Sixers fans don't like hearing that because he obviously has shown
don't got it no more.
He has lost a step and he doesn't have it like that anymore. This ain't the Houston James Harden we're seeing. So to me, it all comes down to how much and how effective can Joel Embiid be playing through that torn ligament?
My thing is, I agree. I feel like if the Sixers don't win, if Sixers don't close it out in 6, the Raptors only get Game 7. We're gonna be so defeated, so drained. The fact that we even have to go to a Game 7 after going up 3-0.
Yep.
So the Sixers can't play around in Game 6.
Yeah, if y'all lose Game 6, I think the Raptors are gonna make history.
So in the whoever advances, Sixers or Toronto, that will be the team facing the Miami Heat. You know best. You're a Heat insider right now. What do you think about that? Who would you have if it's Heat Raptors or Heat Sixers? Who would you pick?
Honestly,
I'm going with the Heat.
Honestly, if it's the Raptors, I honestly think the Raptors have a better chance of beating the Heat than the Sixers do.
Just because the Raptors are more well-balanced, they got better.
The Raptors are more balanced. They play better defense. Yeah. They get shut down that Heat attack a little bit, much better than we could. They match up better when it to the Heat a little bit when it comes to long athletic, because Bam Adebayo isn't overly big. So, you know, the Raptors big men are pretty much the same size as Bam Adebayo. Bam might have a little height difference, but the way the Raptors play defense and they're pretty balanced offensively, they would match up better. I would still take the Heat, but I think the Raptors would actually make that a better series than the 76ers one. Just because the 76ers, if Joel Embiid didn't have a torn ligament, then I probably would take the 76ers just because offensively, I think the 76ers could do enough with Joel Embiid and James Harden. And with y'all, I feel like y'all have more options offensively than the Hawks did because Tobias Harris actually has been playing very well in their Raptors series. You touched on it. The Heat will have to account for Tobias, who is capable of going off.
Tyrese.
They have to, like you said, account for Tyrese, obviously Joel, and obviously James Harden. That's 4 dudes. On the Hawks, you really only had to count for 1.
If they respect James Harden.
Yeah, they respect. I mean, you gotta respect. You still gotta respect. Do you? I think at this point you still have to respect James Harden.
It's just James Harden's decision making in the last 2 games has been very off. Yeah. A lot of ISO, one-on-one, dribbling the shot clock down. Like, if you're not gonna be decisive, if you're not gonna knock down open threes, if you're not gonna even attempt, then just step back and accept the role as a facilitator.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Set up Tyrese Maxey, set up somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Just take the full step back and just be the facilitator. But then also, if we just have James Harden as just a facilitator, that's not what we needed.
Y'all needed somebody who could score along with.
Attack, a closer.
Right. So yeah, I would if the 76ers do make it past the Toronto Raptors, I'm gonna go with the Heat just because the Heat are playing very well. I mean, if Victor Oladipo is back, that's another scary thing too. So the Heat, in my opinion, would be playing better. They would be deeper, play better defense. I would take the Heat. If it's the Raptors, I still take the Heat, but I think that's a much better matchup schematically wise with the Miami Heat. But I'm taking the Heat either way.
So 4-5 in the West, boy. Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks. Winner of that game will play the winner of Suns Pels. The Mavericks, they just put a spanking on the Jazz. Just blow up the darn Jazz. Because the fact the Mavs were handled, like, we picked the Jazz when we thought Luka was out.
Right.
But Jalen Brunson showed up and showed that he's a freaking star on his own. The fact that, like, the Jazz couldn't muster up some wins with Luka out.
Because Luka ended up missing, the first 2 games, right? Did he come back game?
I say 3.
Yeah, you're right.
He missed 3 games.
Yeah, he missed 3. Yep, you're right. He did.
The Jazz should have, like, built up enough of a lead with Luka out. Like.
Yeah, exactly. They honestly probably should have been up 3-0.
Right, so the Mavs are up now 3-2. On the Jazz, I'm gonna have to go with the Mavs. They have all the momentum and they've proven that they are the better team. Blow up the Jazz.
Send Donovan Mitchell to Atlanta. Do whatever you want, Rudy Gobert. But yeah, there you go.
I feel like if they had a pick, they probably would. Who would they keep?
Oh, they would definitely keep Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm halfway joking. They would get rid of Rudy.
And where would Rudy go?
Who knows? The Sacramento Kings.
Probably.
I'm just playing.
Probably OKC or something.
Yeah,
OKC always ready to make a trade.
But he probably go to he probably would end up somewhere like OKC. Yeah.
Portland?
Maybe Portland. Well, no, they got Nurkic. Well, Nurkic actually wouldn't be a bad fit on the team.
Off-season wise, I'm trying to figure out what Portland gonna do. Because they gutted the team. So I'm trying to figure out what that off-season move is. Like, who is Dame Lillard on the phone with this off-season? Like,
ain't no
Ain't no telling.
That's
Ain't
crazy.
No telling.
Ain't no
But
telling.
yeah, that's pretty much our picks for whatever's going on left. Things are going to heat up and it's going to get really hard. Like I said, when we get to the Celtics Bucks predictions, when we get to the Suns Mavs, if it comes down to Suns Mavs, making that pick hard. So yeah, things are getting juicy.
Juicy.